excavations of prehistoric sites suggest that humans were living in what is now Afghanistan, at least 50,000 years ago, and that farming communities in the area were among the earliest in the world. An important site of early historical activities, many believe that Afghanistan compares to Egypt in the historical value of its archaeological sites. 51 artifacts typical of the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Bronze, and Iron Ages have been found in Afghanistan. Urban civilization is believed to have begun as early as 3000 BCE, and the early city of Mundagak, near Kandahar in the south of the country, was a center of the Helmand culture. More recent findings establish that the Indus Valley civilization stretched up towards modern-day Afghanistan. An Indus Valley site has been found on the Oxus River at Shorchagay in northern Afghanistan. 52, 53, 54. After 2000 BCE, successive waves of semi-nomadic people from Central Asia began moving south into Afghanistan. Among them were many Indo-European-speaking Indo-Iranians. These tribes later migrated further into South Asia, Western Asia, and toward Europe via the area north of the Caspian Sea. The region at the time was referred to as Aryana. 55. By the middle of the 6th century BCE, the Achaemenids overthrew the Medes and incorporated Erechosia, Arya, and Bactria within its eastern boundaries. An inscription on the tombstone of Darius I of Persia mentions the Kabul Valley in a list of the 29 countries that he had conquered. 56. The region of Erechosia, around Kandahar in modern-day southern Afghanistan, used to be primarily Zoroastrian, and played a key role in the transfer of the Avesta to Persia, and is thus considered by some to be the second homeland of Zoroastrianism. 57. 58. 59. A Bactrian gold Scythian belt depicting Dionysus, from Tilya Tepe in the ancient region of Bactria. Alexander the Great and his Macedonian forces arrived in Afghanistan in 330 BC, after defeating Darius III of Persia a year earlier in the Battle of Gaugamela. Following Alexander's brief occupation, the successor state of the Seleucid Empire controlled the region until 305 BC, when they gave much of it to the Maurya Empire as part of an alliance treaty. The Mauryans controlled the area south of the Hindu Kush until they were overthrown in about 185 BC. Their decline began 60 years after Ashoka's rule ended, leading to the Hellenistic reconquest by the Greco-Bactrians. Much of it soon broke away and became part of the Indo-Greek kingdom. They were defeated and expelled by the Indo-Scythians in the late 2nd century BC. 61. The Silk Road appeared during the 1st century BCE, and Afghanistan flourished with trade, with routes to China, India, Persia, and north to the cities of Bukhara, Samarkand, and Khiva in present-day Uzbekistan. 62. Goods and ideas were exchanged at this center point, such as Chinese silk, Persian silver, and Roman gold, while the region of present Afghanistan was mining and trading lapis lazuli stone. 63. Mainly from the Badakhshan region. During the 1st century BC, the Parthian Empire subjugated the region, but lost it to their Indo-Parthian vassals. In the mid to late 1st century CE, the vast Kushan Empire, centered in Afghanistan, became great patrons of Buddhist culture, making Buddhism flourish throughout the region. The Kushans were overthrown by the Sassanids in the 3rd century CE, though the Indo-Sassanids continued to rule at least parts of the region. They were followed by the Kidarites, who in turn was replaced by the Hephthalites. They were replaced by the Turk Shahi in the 7th century. The Buddhist Turk Shahi of Kabul was replaced by a Hindu dynasty before the Saffarids conquered the area in 870. This Hindu dynasty was called Hindu Shahi. 64. Much of the northeastern and southern areas of the country remained dominated by Buddhist culture. 65. 66. Medieval period. Main articles: Muslim conquests of Afghanistan, Mongol campaigns in Central Asia, and Ghaznavid campaigns in India. The Ghurids originated from Ghor province in central Afghanistan. Arab Muslims brought Islam to Herat and Zaranj in 642 CE, and began spreading eastward. Some of the native inhabitants they encountered accepted it while others revolted. Before the arrival of Islam, the region used to be home to various beliefs and cults, often resulting in syncretism between the dominant religions. 67, 68, such as Zoroastrianism. 57, 58. 59. Buddhism or Greco-Buddhism, ancient Iranian religions. 69. Hinduism, Christianity. 70, 71, and Judaism. 72, 73. An exemplification of the syncretism in the region would be that people were patrons of Buddhism but still worshipped local Iranian gods such as Ahura Mazda, Lady Nana, Anahita, or Mer, Mithra, and portrayed Greek gods as protectors of Buddha. 74, 69, 75. The Zunbals and Kabul Shahi were first conquered in 870 CE by the Safarid Muslims of Zaranj. Later, The Samanids extended their Islamic influence south of the Hindu Kush. The Ghaznavids rose to power in the 10th century, 76, 77, 78. By the 11th century, Mahmud of Ghazni had defeated the remaining Hindu rulers and effectively Islamized the wider region, 79. With the exception of Kafiristan, 80. Mahmud made Ghazni into an important city and patronized intellectuals, such as the historian al-Biruni and the poet Ferdowsi. 81. The Ghaznavid dynasty was overthrown by the Ghurids in 1186, whose architectural achievements included the remote minaret of Jam. The Ghurids controlled Afghanistan for less than a century before being conquered by the Khwarezmian dynasty in 1215. 82. Mongol invasions and conquests. In 1219 CE, Genghis Khan and his Mongol army overran the region. His troops are said to have annihilated the Khwarezmian cities of Herat and Balkh as well as Bamiyan. 83. The destruction caused by the Mongols forced many locals to return to an agrarian rural society. 84. Mongol rule continued with the Ilkhanate in the northwest, while the Khalji dynasty administered the Afghan tribal areas south of the Hindu Kush until the invasion of Timur, Aka Tamerlane, who established the Timurid Empire in 1370. Under the rule of Shah Rukh, the city of Herat 85 served as the focal point of the Timurid Renaissance, whose glory matched Florence of the Italian Renaissance as the center of a cultural rebirth. 86, 87. In the early 16th century, Babur arrived from Fergana and captured Kabul from the Arghan dynasty. 88. Babur would go on to conquer the Afghan Lodi dynasty, who had ruled the Delhi Sultanate in the First Battle of Panipat. 89. Between the 16th and 18th century, the Uzbek Khanate of Bukhara, Iranian Safavids, and Indian Mughals ruled parts of the territory. 90. During the medieval period, the northwestern area of Afghanistan was referred to by the regional name Khorasan, which was commonly used up to the 19th century among natives to describe their country. 91, 92, 93, 94.
Hotak dynasty.
Main article, Hotak dynasty, map of the Hotak Empire at its height in 1728, disputed between Hussein Hotak, centered in Kandahar, and Ashraf Hotak, centered in Isfahan. In 1709, Mirwais Hotak, a local Ghilzai tribal leader, successfully rebelled against the Safavids. He defeated Gurjan Khan, the Georgian governor of Kandahar, under the Safavids, and established his own kingdom. 95. Mirwais died in 1715, and was succeeded by his brother Abdulaziz, who was soon killed by Mirwais's son Mahmud for possibly planning to sign a peace with the Safavids. Mahmud led the Afghan army in 1722 to the Persian capital of Isfahan, and captured the city after the Battle of Gulnabad and proclaimed himself king of Persia. 95. The Afghan dynasty was ousted from Persia by Nader Shah after the 1729 Battle of Damghan. In 1738, Nader Shah and his forces captured Kandahar in the Siege of Kandahar, the last Hotak stronghold from Shah Hussein Hotak. Soon after, the Persian and Afghan forces invaded India. Nader Shah had plundered Delhi, alongside his 16-year-old commander, Ahmad Shah Durrani, who had assisted him on these campaigns. Nader Shah was assassinated in 1747. 96, 97. Durrani Empire. Main articles, Durrani Empire and Ahmad Shah Durrani. After the death of Nader Shah in 1747, Ahmad Shah Durrani had returned to Kandahar, with a contingent of 4,000 Pashtuns. The Abdalis had unanimously accepted Ahmed Shah as their new leader. With his ascension in 1747, Ahmed Shah had led multiple campaigns against the Mughal Empire, Maratha Empire, and then receding Afsharid Empire. Ahmed Shah had captured Kabul and Peshawar from the Mughal-appointed governor Nasir Khan. Ahmed Shah had then conquered Herat in 1750, and had also captured Kashmir in 1752. 98. Ahmed Shah had launched two campaigns into Khorasan, 1750 to 1751, and 1754 to 1755. 99. His first campaign had seen the siege of Mashhad. However, he was forced to retreat after 4 months. In November 1750, he moved to siege Nishapur, but he was unable to capture the city and was forced to retreat in early 1751. Ahmed Shah returned in 1754. He captured Tun, and on July 23, he sieged Mashhad once again. Mashhad had fallen on December 2, but Shahrukh was reappointed in 1755. He was forced to give up Torches, Bakhars, Jam, Kaf, and Turbat-e-Haidari to the Afghans, as well as accept Afghan sovereignty. Following this, Ahmed Shah sieged Nishapur once again, and captured it. Ahmed Shah invaded India 8 times during his reign, 100, beginning in 1748. Crossing the Indus River, his armies sacked and absorbed Lahore into the Durrani realm. He met Mughal armies at the Battle of Manipur, 1748, where he was defeated and forced to retreat back to Afghanistan. 101. He returned the next year in 1749 and captured the area around Lahore and Punjab, presenting it as an Afghan victory for this campaign. 102. From 1749 to 1767, Ahmed Shah led 6 more invasions, the most important being the last. The Third Battle of Panipat created a power vacuum in northern India, halting Maratha expansion. Portrait of Ahmed Shah Durrani circa 1757. Ahmed Shah Durrani died in October 1772, and a civil war over succession followed, with his named successor, Timur Shah Durrani, succeeding him after the defeat of his brother, Sulayman Mirza. 103. Timur Shah Durrani ascended to the throne in November 1772. Having defeated a coalition under Shah Wali Khan and Humayun Mirza, Timur Shah began his reign by consolidating power toward himself and people loyal to him, purging Durrani Sardars and influential tribal leaders in Kabul and Kandahar. One of Timur Shah's reforms was to move the capital of the Durrani Empire from Kandahar to Kabul. Timur Shah fought multiple series of rebellions to consolidate the empire, and he also led campaigns into Punjab against the Sikhs like his father, though more successfully. The most prominent example of his battles during this campaign was when he led his forces under Zangi Khan Durrani, with over 18,000 men total of Afghan, Kizilbash, and Mongol cavalrymen, against over 60,000 Sikh men. The Sikhs lost over 30,000 in this battle, and staged a Durrani resurgence in the Punjab region. 104. The Durranis lost Multan in 1772 after Ahmed Shah's death. Following this victory, Timur Shah was able to lay siege to Multan and recapture it. 105. Incorporating it into the Durrani Empire once again, reintegrating it as a province until the siege of Multan 1818. Timur Shah was succeeded by his son Zaman Shah Durrani after his death in May 1793. Timur Shah's reign oversaw the attempted stabilization and consolidation of the empire. However, Timur Shah had over 24 sons, which plunged the empire in civil war over succession crises. 106. Zaman Shah Durrani succeeded to the Durrani throne following the death of his father, Timur Shah Durrani. His brothers Mahmud Shah Durrani and Humayun Mirza revolted against him, with Humayun centered in Kandahar and Mahmud Shah centered in Herat. 107. Zaman Shah would defeat Humayun and force the loyalty of Mahmud Shah Durrani. 107. Securing his position on the throne, Zaman Shah led 3 campaigns into Punjab. The first 2 campaigns captured Lahore, but he retreated due to intel about a possible Qajar invasion. Zaman Shah embarked on his 3rd campaign for Punjab in 1800 to deal with a rebellious Ranjit Singh. 108. However, he was forced to withdraw, and Zaman Shah's reign was ended by Mahmud Shah Durrani. 108. However, just under 2 years into his reign, Mahmud Shah Durrani was deposed by his brother Shah Shuja Durrani on July 13, 1803. 109. Shah Shuja attempted to consolidate the Durrani realm, but was deposed by his brother at the Battle of Nimla, 1809. 110. Mahmud Shah Durrani defeated Shah Shuja and forced him to flee, usurping the throne again. His second reign began on May 3, 1809.